Yes, indeed, folks. You're listening to the TotalBiscuit Show with myself, Blue Plz, and I wonder how long I can keep doing this without screwing up. We shall see. You're all very confused now, a bit leery. Everything in your world's turned upside down. You should be scared. Are you scared? Be scared. Now, it's the illusion of choice, and I have the horrible drop-in that I'm going to play again because I don't like you. Work.
It's the illusion of choice.
Yes, it's the illusion of choice. And it is pretty much what it says on the tin. I am giving you the illusion that I am allowing you to choose my next topic. And it pretty much is an illusion, I must say, because I'm going to, let's say, I spin the wheel to pick the one that I want to do. Oh yes, Michael Torpy. This one came in a grand total of 3 minutes ago. And it says this: Dear TotalBiscuit, I put to you that by encouraging guilds to spend time running Karazhan repeatedly after they have it on farm, badges of justice are discouraging them from making actual progress in more difficult instances. What do you think of badges? It's from Michael Torpy. Okay, for this week this will be our illusion of choice topic. Yes!
It's the illusion of choice.
At least it's not false advertising. It is most certainly an illusion. Now, this is a topic of contention among many people, including myself. I actually contend with myself over this issue. I really do. I have long discussions late into the night with myself about this problem, and I'm like, TotalBiscuit, this is a really stupid system, isn't it? No, TotalBiscuit, I really disagree. I think the system has real potential to help people who are less fortunate than us in the game. But TotalBiscuit, why should we help people who are less fortunate? They are clearly nubs. Well, TotalBiscuit, you need to be far more understanding of the different playstyles of people. TotalBiscuit, I don't need to be understanding of anything. I want you to go away now. TotalBiscuit, I can't go away. I am you. But you must. But I will not. I cannot. You must. Ah! And then there's this kind of Jedi power battle in my head with lightsabers and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I mean, I wish you could see it. I really do. But you can't, because you're unfortunate. And I can't help you. Now, let us talk about badges. Badges, again, issue of contention for me, and the issues that I see with badges are the fact that badge gear is too good, at least now, but if it wasn't very good, people wouldn't bother to get it. Now, leaves me with a bit of a dilemma, because since the start of Blue Plz, I have always championed the cause of progressive content. The idea that somebody should be able to get the same kind of quality loot as long as they spend an awful lot of time doing it. And the idea that, hey, okay, we can get something that's, you know, relatively similar to what you can get in raiding, because I don't have time to raid, or I just don't like raiding, or I don't happen to be in a guild that can raid, you know, any number of other reasons. So, you know, I should be able to get something too. Now, as a raider, I don't mind people getting gear. What I mind is when people get better gear than me from doing less work, and that's always going to be the problem with progressive content, and badge loot is progressive content. There's not even a question about that. The idea of being able to do instances at your leisure to acquire badges, which can then eventually be spent, is progressive content. And the system itself is not bad. There was nothing specifically wrong with the system. The problem I've got with the system is more of the fact that the gear it gives is too good. Now, yeah, the point has been made in the email that, you know, you're forcing guilds to run Karazhan, and you're forcing them to do that at the expense of learning other instances. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. If anyone is being forced to raid Karazhan rather than progressing, then there's either something very wrong with their guild, or they're very, very casual. And by casual, I don't mean bad, I mean they are like raiding maybe one night a week. Yeah? I mean, you can clear Karazhan in about 4 hours or so, give or take, once you've got it on farm. Now, that's one day of the week, and it's on a 7-day reset. So, you clear it. If, say, you're in a 10-man guild, you clear that, and then you go do Zulaman, because that's really all you can do. If you're a 25-man guild, you maybe run 2 groups in Kara, 3 if you can get the spares, maybe take some pubbies so that you can get everyone else in Kara for their badges this week, and then you go and try something else. And even if you're only raiding 2 nights a week, which should be relatively within the range of some people, I would think. You know, most people should at least be able to raid 2 nights a week, even if it's just on the weekends. You know, either that or raiding probably isn't for you, let's face it, if you can't do that. Now, that should be okay. I mean, 1 night in Kara and 1 night in something else, I mean, surely that's okay for progression. Now, consider this. Here's my theory on this whole thing. I think that our contributor here got it a little bit wrong. It's not a case of discouraging them from making actual progress in more difficult instances. It's a case of giving them gear which is better than the gear they would have acquired in that instance, thereby bringing them to a standstill if their concern is gear alone. And a lot of guilds are. So, I mean, his point was mostly valid. I just think he's coming from it from a slightly incorrect angle. Now, giving people Tier 6 equivalent loot, which is what the badge loot currently is. You've looked at the old badge gear, look at the new badge gear, you will see that most of it is Tier 6-ish equivalent loot. Some of it is ludicrous. I mean, they've got a ring that's got 2% hit, plus a crap ton of damage and stats. Now, that ring is pretty much as good, if not better than almost anything you can get. Certainly up to Black Temple. Now, the problem is, if you're giving people that amount of gear, the kind of people that you're giving it to are those who don't have enough time or the inclination to get that equivalent level of gear in an instance. Now, if you do that, what you're doing is giving gear to people outside of their level of experience. And I say experience because I'm loath to use the word skill when it comes to instances, yeah? If you're a tier 4 level experience raider, as in you've beaten Karazhan, but you can't really make much progress into any of the tier 5 content, maybe you can kill Gruul, maybe you can kill Mike Theridon, okay, you're a tier 4 raider. Now, if you suddenly get tier 6 gear, that is not going to make you a tier 6 raider. It doesn't. You're still a tier 4 level raider with tier 6 gear. Now, might make things a little bit easier, but here's the problem. Now, you have tier 6 level gear. One would assume that you would want to take on tier 6 level content, because that's where you're going to get your next upgrade from. What does that skip? Well, an entire tier, obviously. You lose out on doing tier 5. Now, what you might say is that, well, TotalBiscuit, some people will do it, and some guilds will do it, and they will go and do the tier 5 content. I would say the majority probably won't, because gear is in the minds of a lot of people. It really is. I mean, people who are willing to do endless amounts of heroics just to get gear, yeah, I don't think they're going to be having a lot of fun in those heroics. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I do an heroic for the umpteenth time, we're not exactly talking about a raid instance here where the challenge is enough to keep you interested. We're talking about a heroic, which you've done umpteen times, and it's pretty much autopilot the entire way through, but you're just wasting an hour every time you're doing it. In order just to get a handful of badges. I cannot really see that most people enjoy that. I mean, first few times maybe, but surely after that it becomes something of a grind, right? I mean, am I wrong in that? Is there something wrong in my head? Am I assuming something that isn't true here? So what that means is that why would these people who are willing to spend a lot of time getting gear in a manner which is not enjoyable be willing to then go into an instance whose gear is not as good in order to do what exactly? Acquire gear? Well, no. They're not going to acquire gear in there. They already got the gear from badges. What are they going to get? Primal, the nether vortexes? Well, I suppose, but then again, aren't those sellable now, as I recall? I could be wrong there. I think they are. I haven't played live WoW in a long time. I've been too busy playing beta, so I think they are. So why would you even bother going in there? What do you have to gain? That's the thing, the mindset of that kind of person is willing to do an awful lot of work for gear in a way that isn't interesting. That's the difference between raiders and those who use progressive content. Progressive content in its current form is not as interesting as raiding, by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, really, if you enjoy that kind of stuff more than raiding, I want to know what's up in your head, because, wow. I mean, I thought the Jedi and the lightsabers and explosions in mine was a bad thing, but you are screwed up. I mean, I could recommend you a good shrink, really. Called Darth Vader. Now, those kind of people are going to get this gear, and I don't think they're going to go into tier 5. And they're going to try tier 6, and they're going to fail miserably, because tier 6 is a huge jump in difficulty. It's not just about gear at all. It's about difficulty. It's about the challenge. It's about the amount of experience that you have as a raider and your cohesiveness as a raid group. Consider yourself warned. If you go into Black Temple and you've never done tier 5 content, but you go in there just because, hey, there's no attunement anymore, and I've got tier 6 level gear, you're going to get your ass handed to you. Good luck even getting to the first boss. I mean, really, they haven't nerfed that instance much. It's still pretty tricky. So, for me, that's kind of a failure. And that's the problem I've really got with badges. It's not just a case of me being jealous, oh, you can get tier 6 level gear. It's the problem that you're obsoleting an entire tier worth of content to people who need to experience it, not just for the sake of enjoyment, but for the experience of getting their A-game on. I mean, you need to bring your A-game to tier 6 level content, and they're not going to learn that way. Now, they're going to be trapped in Karazhan, not because you've encouraged them to farm badge gear there, but because they now have no purpose to go to the next stage up. And that's a real problem. I mean, does anyone else see that as a problem? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, that's my opinion on badges, and I'm going to bring back a nice little segment that I used to do for the last few minutes of every show. I'm going to do shout-outs for you guys. You know, for some reason, you guys like shout-outs. I don't know why, but you can email themurloc@gmail.com with any special messages or shout-outs you'd like for the last few minutes of the show before I play the last track of the night and hand over to the one and only Cadwellian and Dunkor, who will be doing WoW Things Considered. One thing I have to say before Gnome Wise kills me, the WoW Radio store is opening again. Indeed, it has opened its doors, and it's in the process of refurbishment. Let's just say that. Cafe Press store. It's cafepress.com/wearcraft. That's wearcraft. See what I did there? Very puntastic. Now, we're going to have some WoW Radio merchandise up there. We've already got some, and we're adding more. And if you'd like to suggest or provide us with any artwork or slogans or anything, feel free to post on our forums at wcradio.com. Click on the forums, and there's a big thread in Station General discussion about the store. And we're going to have badges, steins, shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, pretty much everything you possibly want. So, yeah. We do get a few dollars per purchase. It's not a big thing, but to be honest, it's just... I like the idea of seeing someone walking around in WoW Radio gear. I think that's pretty cool. Wouldn't you? I mean, really. You let your little brand go international and suddenly it becomes very, very awesome. So, yeah. Anyway, shout-out time, folks. Email themurloc@gmail.com. You can also PM me on IRC. Yes, you can. You can PM me on IRC if you want to shout out a special message for the last 2 minutes of the show. I have one here by Scott Smith that says, almost shout-out. One of my alts is level 69, halfway to 70. With any luck, I will ding during your show. How epic is that? Epic, you say? Well, so do I. I do, in fact, say... Epic! Because I haven't played it this show, and it wouldn't be a show without it. P.S. You should think of rolling alts. You said it yourself, you're very narrow-minded, and playing another class will open you up to my opinion. I don't want to be opened up to your opinion. I don't care about your opinion. I want to stay narrow-minded. It's really nice here. You know. Ignorance is bliss. As it were, blessed is the mind too small for doubt. Now, I'm going to shout out here from Boris Iger, a shout to shout-outs. Well, that's very original. Never really had that before. I'm sure shout-outs are very much appreciated. Nick Lang, also known as Illurian. Nick Lang. Oh, should I say Nick Wang? Yeah. He says, a shout-out to Titan Quest for eating 17 hours of my life in the last 2 days. My clicking finger hurts a lot. Yeah, you do realize you can hold the button down. I mean, you hold shift and just hold the button down and everything dies. It's great. Gotta love hack and slash RPGs. They're absolutely fantastic. Let's see what else we've got in the PMs. Many PMs, left side. Shout out to Havish for a Kara run with good loots tonight. And Soonish entering Tier 5 content. And to Atra for listening to your show. It's from Quel'Thalas EU. PS, roll a Paladin with the Recruit a Friend program. No, I'm rolling a Druid. Because I want to be a Moonkin! Oh, yes. Shout out to the Shallow Grave Guild in the High Elf server. Please. Yes, hi, Orion. Yeah. So somebody is here, but tough. I'm not going downstairs until I'm finished. Orion, I ain't answering the door. I'm in the middle of a show. It's way too important. To be honest, I'm going to have to go, folks. So, my name's been TotalBiscuit. This has been Blue Plz, or my name's been Blue Plz, and this is the TotalBiscuit Show. Thank you for listening. This is the Ganker, and I'm going to be handing over in a couple of minutes to the one and only Cadwellian and Dunkor. Thank you for listening, and good night.